right, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, May 21st, 2014, and this is Before the First Cup with Jules and Lady Pitbull on UCY.TV. Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay. I got a little bit of sleep yesterday, so I'm alright.
Oh, that's good. Well,
even a little bit. I mean, like 6 hours or so. It's pretty good.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah, that's like sleep marathon.
That's right. It's so green and lush and wonderful and humid here today. Oh.
I know. Same here.
It's great.
And, you know, I got a haircut the other day. I don't know if I've been out since that happened. But
right on.
I had like 3 inches cut off, which you can't tell because it was so long and bushy. But, you can see it in the ponytail. Well, actually not. The ponytail just looks healthier now. It's
good.
Not split ends. It hit some split ends, and now it's a shiny red. And by the way, I found my Corvette red on Amazon.
Woohoo!
I don't know. She was giving me some line that she had to bleach, and then she had to put the red on. I'm like, okay, whatever. That isn't how I did it. No, you put it over the top of the dark red, and then it just glows. So that's on its way.
Did she bleach it though first?
No, and you don't want to go bleaching your hair. I mean, I've had that done before. That, especially when it's long, because then you trash it, you know?
Totally.
Yeah, so my hair's real super healthy now. I've been doing all that diatomaceous earth and, you know, finally got a haircut. So it's pretty happy. I'm not gonna go bleaching it. But, what I was saying last night to Jax, to Jax, about a haircut is, I mean, my trumpet vines, it just, you know, we were talking about split ends and stuff, and that's exactly it. Your hair doesn't grow anymore if you don't get a cut. And I'm telling my daughter this too. She went as long as I did without a haircut. But her hair is beautiful. It's got all these ringlet, you know, curls and stuff in it. So she doesn't really, you know, it doesn't get out of hand. Just the combing in. After a bath, that's the trouble. Because then it gets knots, you know, and then it's like, whoa, it hurts. I'm like, well, then get your hair cut short, you know. There you go. You got 2 choices. Either deal with brushing it or get it cut short.
Right.
When I was a kid, I had my hair cut short. As I got older, then I let it grow long, and I spent hours doing it every morning for school. So,
big
trade-off there. Yeah, now I just wear it up all the time, and I don't even bother with it. But what I was telling Jax is I really do think plants are just like people. My trumpet vine last weekend, I managed to get the ladder out. And at least, I talk about this every year. This trumpet vine takes me hours. Like the one on the old jungle gym, the jungle gym that's now a monster trellis for this thing, that takes me a good 8 hours. And I have to literally just about climb on top of the jungle gym and lay up in there with the clippers because it's so big. But, there's the one that's growing up next to the house too. I use it to hide my neighbors so I don't have to look at them. We built a little trellis just with some 4x4s and a piece of lattice. So I started that, you know, and I did it like a 90-degree box right in the corner that kind of partially is like a shield, whatever you call it. You know, like those Chinese, what are they called? That you put in a room and it divides the room in half.
Oh, Japanese,
You know what I'm talking about, like the room dividers, the block things that you could, you know, people would put them around themselves and then get dressed.
Oh, I know. I can't remember the name of those things.
The blind, something like that. Anyway, a couple years ago I made a little blind out of 3 4x4s, and I did it on a 90-degree angle and then 2 pieces of lattice. And then just kind of mounted it up in the corner next to the deck railing. I stuck a screw in there. And I started the trumpet vine growing right up in the corner next to the house. So now these things grow like weeds. Anybody wants one in the fall, let me know. I mean, honestly, at the end of the summer when it gets, you know, like where you're not even mowing anymore because it's the dog days and it's 90 and the grass hasn't grown at all. The only thing that's coming up in about 30 places in my lawn is trumpet vine.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, and it's like Creature from the Black Lagoon, cause you got like all these long arms sticking out of the lawn. I'm like, Paul, can you please take the weed whacker, whack the creature? But, so anyway, but they're beautiful, beautiful plants. They grow very quickly and they get these big, gorgeous, like orange, red, long tube flowers on them that the hummingbirds love.
Ooh, that's
the hummingbirds come all over. And I mean, the one year, it was a pretty mild winter here back in '06, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And, I had trumpet vines through October. I had flowers. The flowers
really?
Through October. Yes. We did not get snow until mid-December that year. That was '06.
So they're the kind of flowers that hang on all summer and stay there, huh?
They hang on or they just keep, it's profuse blooming.
Wow.
Yeah, if you want one, I mean, it's still early. I'm sure that there's some suckers I could dig. I'll take a look.
Wow.
I can find, I mean, in the garden, I'm sure that they're still probably dormant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so anyway, what I was saying is I was telling Jax yesterday, so last weekend I got up on my ladder and hacked the one that's at least on the deck side of the house. I still gotta get out on the lawn and do that side and then get up in the other one with the swing set or the jungle gym. And that sucker's gonna take me an entire day, but what a huge difference. Just like I was saying with hair, the side that I hacked all the dead stuff off. And you gotta wait. You wait until just the beginning of spring and you'll start seeing right at the joints of where, flowers were last year or branches were last year. You'll see the, just a little nib of leaf coming out of each end, but you'll see a good 2-3 feet of the end of each branch is like shriveled and dead. That's what you gotta hack off. You just chip. You do the whole thing. But the next so it rained actually that evening. The next morning, it was like an explosion of green. Just on that one that I cut on that side. So let that be a lesson to you. If you want your hair to grow and get healthy, at least get a trim. And especially if it's really long, you're not going to miss 3 inches. Like I was going, oh no. I can't even tell that 3 inches was cut off.
That's awesome.
But yeah, if you want a trumpet vine, I'll send you one. I'm sure that there's probably 2 or 3 growing as suckers in the garden.
Well, I rent here and, I virtually have no backyard because it's all river.
Mm-hmm. Out below though, can't you put something up the deck like accidentally?
Oh,
like go down around the back where it's in the ground and just start it growing up the 4x4. It'll be gorgeous. I mean, it'll grow like right along the front of the deck. It'll be so pretty.
Wow.
All the hummingbirds will come.
Oh, I love hummingbirds. Oh my God. They're awesome.
Yeah, me too. So wait, speaking of little friends, so last night I sat in and did a, a guest host for Primer Time last night.
Yay!
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, Eddie, if you're out there. Mr. Prepper Chick.
It was cool, Mr. Prepper Chick. That's awesome. I love that.
I didn't know what else to call him where people, if I just said, yeah, I'm on with Eddie. People be like, who?
Right.
Sorry, Mr. Prepper Chick, I figured they get the point.
Sure.
So, I skipped my nap yesterday because obviously though we do police brutality, it's not something I focus on every single day. So,
right.
When you're doing a show that you deal specifically with firearms, I did want to make sure I knew what I was talking about, and I had some updated news, not just like, oh, remember that time when? So, anyway, I'm sitting up in the living room after bedtime, so it was quiet, and I was putting together a couple articles, and I'm hearing this crunch, 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 and all 3 of the upstairs cats are all sitting at the sliding glass door, which I have open. It's the screen's open. And they're all just gaping out the door. And I'm thinking, oh, chipmunk. But then I'm like, wait, it's dark. And wow, that sounds like a big chipmunk. So I get on the floor and I kind of do like the shimmy on my stomach, cause they're all sitting. I mean, there's obviously a creature right outside the door cause you can see, how cats get when their faces get really intense and they're frozen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is it? So I do the, commando ground stomach crawl to the door. It's a baby, now I don't remember what they're called. Raccoon!
A raccoon!
A little I mean, he wasn't little tiny. I've seen teeny tiny baby raccoons before at Allegheny State Park. We had a whole family that lived under our cabin that we rented.
Aww.
Yeah, mom and dad, 9, and I mean, they were just like palm-sized babies. They were so
Oh my God.
This one was probably the size of an average cat, I would say. So he looks like he's a few months old, but yeah, I had Peanuts out on the deck because I feed the Blue Jays, and we have little Mr. Chippy that lives under the step here, right outside the back door. So
who's Mr. Chippy?
The little chipmunk.
Oh, it's Chippy Chipmunk.
Yeah, and he's been there for probably like 5 or 6 years, but he torments the cats on a daily basis, so.
That's funny.
It's their entertainment. It's like kitty TV out the back door.
Right.
Yeah, so here's something that I said to Paul the other day. So I have the office cat that lives out here, too. Mm-hmm. And it's a long story, but I have a female upstairs. This is a female. I had taken her in from a friend of mine whose mother-in-law had to get rid of the cat because she got really sick, and they were going to take it to the shelter, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about the cat. I don't care whose cat it is. You're not taking a 12-year-old cat to the shelter because they're going to put the cat to sleep. So I took the cat, but there's no way you could put 2 strange females into a house, especially an older cat. So the one is the office mascot. The other 3 live upstairs, but I leave this door open sometimes, right? I've talked about that because it gets so freaking hot in here. And there's a few times that I've gone up for dinner and then we've chowed and then we watch our hour science programming, and then the next thing Mom knows, she's opening her eyes. She's been on the couch for 3 hours. And, I went comatose and took a little nap. But then I've come out here at 11 o'clock. It's freezing. The back door's still propped wide open. And the lights are on. Well, I got cat food out here. I also got a big, 20-pound bag of dry food. Mm-hmm. Well, I just realized something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You know what? I've been thinking that the cat's been eating a lot of food lately, and yesterday the bag was turned on its side on the ground.
Oh, boy.
I think that little dude's been coming in here when I've been leaving the door open, and then Paul said, hey, maybe he likes index cards.
Oh!
They have little hands.
They do, but how in that it's not going to be
I didn't
neatly. I mean, it would be ripped up and stuff. All your information would be gone instead of laid right out.
That's what I said. It wouldn't have been like somebody holding a hand of cards and then laying them on the thing. I think a freaking raccoon would have been a little unneater, less neat.
Yeah, they'd be ripping that stuff up.
Yeah, but I think he's been chowing. Because, yesterday I found the bag on its side and I was like, wow, I gotta go get some more because I'm almost out of food.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, he might have been in there to get the food.
Yeah, I think but I don't know about the cards, but I do know, I'm pretty certain he's been in here having some dinner.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God.
We have woods out the back, so, it's not like it's a strange thing. I've had possum here before that we've seen dangling from the vines. I have a wisteria and a trumpet vine.
Oh my God. Really?
And we've had a raccoon before in the wintertime, but I've never seen him during the spring.
Wow. That's interesting. Maybe you can, make friends with it. Some raccoons.
They do get pretty tame. They can. Those ones at Allegheny State Park that live underneath the cabins, they'll come out every night at sundown and they expect you to have some dog food or something. Sitting around that campfire. They came and hung out with us.
Oh, wow.
That's God, cool. My dad was laying on a lawn chair. We brought some lawn chairs with us and we'd have the bonfire going and we had all these little babies and the mommy and the daddy raccoon and we were feeding them. And I'm sure you're not supposed to do that, but we were feeding them. We had chunks of dry food. And my dad's laying on the lawn chair, and I guess Big Daddy Raccoon must have been done with his chunk of food and wanted some more. He jumped right on my father's chest.
Oh my God, are you kidding
You
me?
want to talk about flipping out? Everybody just froze. We're like, oh, nice big daddy raccoon.
God.
This thing, my father just sat there. He's like, uh-oh, what do we do now? And those things can rip your face off.
Yeah, they can if they get pissed off.
Yeah. So I think my mother took the bag and poured some more like over there, and then he jumped down. But they can get really friendly. And I mean, those raccoons were not afraid of people at all.
That's amazing. That's
right on his chest. I mean, honestly, I know that the life passed before his eyes there for a brief second.
Wow. But, I mean, that's really what you need to do. You just need to stay as still as possible. You know, if you're being attacked by a bear, you know, you have to go limp, literally.
Yeah, and don't show any, like your fight or flight.
No, none either. Once you're like down and pinned, that's it. You know, you gotta pretend like you're a rag doll, even if you're like, you know, profusely bleeding and hurting.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy. We used to live in Florida, and my mom, she just loves to go swimming, and when she swims like across the pond, across the lake, across the, you know what I mean? She swims like way the hell out there. And
no!
Not anymore. She's always been a big swimmer, but we were living around, I think it was Gainesville, and, she went swimming in this lake, and, she was just calmly doing the backstroke, and her boyfriend at the time was up on the shore going, what is that following her?
Oh no, I know what it was.
Alligator, dude. La la la, you know, I don't care. She's just all calm. You know, she didn't make any sudden moves or act like a fish or anything like that. She just kind of acted like another alligator.
Yeah, no thrashing.
Not at all. And she just calmly swam back to shore, and we were on the shore screaming, you know. When she got back to the shore, she's like, I knew there was a gator following me, you guys.
Oh my God.
She was staring right at it, you know. So
See, now that was pretty slick that she was able to stay that calm.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I would have been able to do that.
You know, I guess when my dad, told the story when she was 5 months pregnant with me, they went down to the Bahamas for scuba diving, and he was up on a boat, and she was swimming around for like an hour and a half with a nurse shark down.
Wow.
And she was just going la 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 la, you know, just swimming down there, not a care in the world. Then, you know, the nurse shark really isn't really human aggressive, so she was just swimming with it. My dad's up there going, get the hell up here.
Yeah. Being pregnant, I know, that's kind of a scary thought. And plus you don't know, with hormones and stuff, animals get a little weird, so.
Yeah, so she was just chilling out there for like a good hour with that damn thing, you know. So, I don't know, kudos to my Bob, you know. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I know that my parents, when I was a kid, we were down in Florida, and they got a paddle boat, and that's exactly what happened to them. So they're out on the paddle boat, blah la 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 la, out in this nice big lake, la 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 la, and they get all the way over to the other side of the lake, and then they start looking around, and they're like, what are all those things? And they're like, it was all alligators. Oh, they're like, oh shit, paddle. Yeah, that wasn't good.
No, especially with a paddle boat though, because it makes noises.
Yep.
In the water, so, ooh, boy.
Let's get back as soon as we can.
Did they get chased?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, if they did come in the water, they just kind of, you know, did the eyeball in it going, what is that? Kind of big.
Alligators are pretty afraid of humans for the most part, you know what I mean? Unless they're confronted or cornered.
Unless you're jumping them and wrestling them.
Yeah, that too.
So, you know, I'm looking here at Facebook. I gotta tell you, there's some whacked out stuff going on with Facebook lately. on some of my pages, especially like my Behind the Curtain page, I've had this since long before I even did radio. The Behind the Curtain Facebook page was my first page where I said, I need to say something. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And I thought I was incognito. No one would know it was me as I'm posting all this, stuff bitching about this, that, or the other thing. Little did I think that obviously I was logged into Facebook as me. So Facebook knows it's me that's posting all that stuff. There's over 1,300 subscribers now, which really isn't a lot considering I've been at that page for probably 4 years. Actually, I have been 4 years. I've been working on this page, but I used to get some pretty decent views, as all these pages have. I mean, Madison's page, we started at like 1,900 subscribers. I think it's at 42,000 or 44,000. Yeah, we did that in a year. He let me go nuts on his page, and I don't know, I figured out the way Facebook, what would get you like at the top of the news feed. That was when instead of people were just using links, and I was like, hey, let's use pictures. So you'd upload a picture and then put the link, and so that helped drive. Now nothing works. There really is nothing you could do to get people to see your post because, of course, once we got all these subscribers to come into all of our pages, Facebook then said, hey, we can make tons of money with advertising. So I'm going to tell you what. You have 44,000 subscribers? Well, we're only going to let 1% of those people, so 400, see your posts if you're lucky. And I mean, back in the day, we had a couple. I actually have one that I took screenshots of that we must have had 45,000 views on one post. I've never seen a post that went that crazy, and I don't even remember what it was. I'll have to look it up one of these days, because I have all the screenshots of it. But something went completely viral on Facebook. And I mean, we're lucky now, if I'm Behind the Curtain, I get one view. And I mean, I'm not kidding. One person looking at something out of 1,400.
Wow.
Now that's absolute bullshit, okay? It's Facebook deciding that if you're not gonna pay, we're not gonna let any of your subscribers that you worked so hard to get to come subscribe to your page, none of them are gonna see any of your stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, it's kind of a sucky tool. At some point here, I need to get my head on straight and figure out either if we're going to build something social media. So we already have, like the portal, the UCY portal. We've added all these modules to, and I'm using them for a bunch of different things now. And there's a social media component on it now. So I mean, we really could just start fleshing that out if people were interested. But you know what? That just means more work for me and more base.
Well, yeah.
Shit. So do I really want to do that? If it means I could hire a staff of 100, maybe.
Hey, there you go.
It could be the means to an end. But anyway, over the last couple days, I've been noticing, I don't know if it's the stories, I don't know if Facebook showed like a glimmer of sunlight on me for 24 hours, hoping that I don't close my page and take all my friends elsewhere. But over the last 2 days, I've actually had views like 36, 24, 65. I was like, wow, because I went a week where I had 0 views on a whole bunch of my posts. And I'm like, why the F am I even wasting my time posting anything to this page that no one even looks at, right?
Right.
So, anyway, I want to share some of these stories with you because when I was doing this last night, I started to see some dots connecting. So that's what we're going to look at today.
Sure.
Are the connecting dots, though, I mean, there's dots that don't necessarily connect, but I'll tell you the 2 things that I'm seeing as a trend. And I get news from so many different places, but there are 2 big trends going on right now. And both are fear, fear, fear. Actually, there's 3, but 2 main ones that apply to us, and then the third is like this whole global argument going on. 2 are cyber, right? Hacker attacks, fear, 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 fear. Cyber Patrol Center, look, we caught these guys. Look at all these guys we caught. And look, we've been hacked. And we got China hacking us. And we got utilities being hacked now. Oh, just wait. There's hacks happening everywhere. Oh, FBI says there's 1 million computers infected.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, but you get this. It's bullshit. I'm going to tell you all of it. It's Microsoft opened their Cyber Patrol Center. And if you listen to all these stories, it's all international. And because we all work together, we caught the bastards.
Oh, right.
Come on. You see what I'm doing with my hand here? Alright, that's what I'm saying to that. It's bullshit. We've been watching this ramp up since Napolitano was in office going, oh, cybercrime is the next big war. We've seen all the outgoing military officials. That's where our new big expenditures are going to be. The cyber front is the new warfare. And now, oh look, it's come to fruition. Go figure.
Right.
Alright, so that's number one. And that's how they can, after all the NSA bullshit and all the Snowden, I want to call him Snowden now, all the Snowden revelations, okay, everybody's like, oh, well, you bastards, you've been spying on us globally for years. Those crazy conspiracy theorists weren't so crazy like the one CNN was pointing out in New York City yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. No, they weren't. Well, we gotta make that all better now because people are pissed. Well, hey, the only reason that we were spying on you guys everywhere 24/7 was because, look, we're keeping you safe. Look at all the criminals globally, and we've been keeping you safe. That's why they did this now. This is to justify everything that came out to make it okay. And then, didn't they? Now we followed it too. Now we heard the pounding drums going now to the corporate world. And that was back in December when all the CEOs from the tech giants went to the White House. They're like, but we gotta work with private industry because private industry isn't secure either. And we gotta move everything to the cloud.
That's right, the cloud.
Mm-hmm. And I think I mentioned the guy who owned the company that I used to work for when I was the business director. He didn't want anything to go to the cloud. He wanted everything inside. And we had a Cayman Islands branch. Need I say more? Well,
no.
What they're working on now. Look at what they were doing with all these banks saying we're not doing business with you unless you give up your account list. Who has money in your bank? Well, they're trying to do that with all of the tax havens.
Yeah, they're doing that with the tax havens, and they're also doing that with gun manufacturers.
Yes, they are. Trying to force it. So, anyway, that's disturbing trend number one, and we'll look at specifics of that here in a second. So that's the whole cyber thing. Mm-hmm. Disturbing trend number two, and we've talked about this a couple times now, is this coming pandemic.
Oh boy.
They've been discussing pandemics since, I would say, 2007 was probably when I first started hearing about it at a federal level, and that was the FEMA class that I took. Mm-hmm. I took that 8-week FEMA class, and that was what they prepared us for. After that class was over, then we had our town had the CERT group. I became part of the emergency preparedness group for the town, and what we were preparing for was how to hand out pharmaceuticals in the event of a pandemic. And typically, it wasn't like we really didn't do flu outbreak. What they were more concerned about at the time was more like bioterror. So at that time we were talking anthrax attack.
Wow.
So how to give out, it was cortisones, the antibiotics that work on that. And basically we set it up at the high school. So you had a distribution system, and there would be one person from each household, and everyone would have a time slot, and they'd pull in through the parking lot, and we'd have cones set up, so we could get the line, get everyone off the street, et cetera, et cetera. But that was something that they were really preparing for a long time. I haven't heard a peep out of that group. I subscribed a long time ago. My name is in the database as an emergency preparedness professional that's been trained to call me up in the case of an emergency. And there's a mailer, they do like mass emails. And we used to get emails like updates on if they're doing a drill or blah, 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 because all the towns will work together. I haven't seen anything in years. So I'm
wow.
That surveillance probably caught up with me. They have pegged me and have listened to my radio show and have since removed me from the FEMA database. I don't know. I mean, why is nobody... I've heard nothing in years, literally.
That's interesting. I know you can go online and take all their damn tests and become certified.
Yeah, well, that's the class. It was federally funded. Bush had given money out to all of the towns at the time. And I don't know, while that FEMA grant was in place, I think we ran 11 8-week trainings here in my county.
Wow.
Yeah, we had like 30 people per class, and you had police, fire, EMS, you had nursing. There were definitely people who knew what they were doing, and each class was a different, type of thing that you'd worry about. And if anyone is interested, it's not like, I've seen articles, and I'm not going to mention the shills that were writing them, but I've argued about this. I've seen articles saying, the federal government's putting money in and they're trying to train our children to be good little Nazi soldiers. No, that's not what it was about. It is not citizen, what was she saying? It was citizen, they were calling it, the citizen law enforcement or whatever. That is not what it was about. You got a good overview. You got an understanding of the military command and control. They showed you the flow chart, how that worked, how to establish in an emergency, triage. And, you have to have leaders for communication and for organization. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you're going to have some sort of response plan that isn't disorganized and a big cluster F, then you got to have some organization.
Right. They used to call it civil defense. Civil defense, like
right, but this
Citizens Brigade.
But it can be, yes, Citizen Brigade. But it can be applied in any scenario. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
I don't know. These stupid people that are just all about, making money because they raise red alarms and then funnel you to their website so they can make cash. It just is a crock of shit. It's in the interpretation. I went through the classes. It was not like that. I had a brand new baby. My daughter was probably 6 months old, and honestly, anyone who's had a kid knows that when that mama bear instinct kicks in, you will do anything to protect your child. So I really got to a point where I was like, holy crap, you see all this crazy shit that's going on in the world? I better make sure that I know how to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So that's why I took the class.
That's the logical recourse of any kind of parent, that's worth their salt anyway.
Yep. And they taught us great stuff. We learned how to extricate people from fallen buildings,
Wow.
We actually went into the public safety training facility. This was the last class, and we did, rescue missions in it was the fire safety building where they can set the mock fires, and you have all the smoke coming out. Yeah, we were all dressed in fire gear. There were fires burning. There were dead people laying on stairways. Oh my God. Fire extinguishers. You had goggles and air equipment. We had to go rescue people. That was great. So,
that's awesome.
Not that you'd ever be going to do that. We set bones. We had a whole triage class that we did. Using different, ad hoc items like bras. Did you know old bras, anyone that's out there, make great slings and shit hit the fan?
Hey, save your old bras, gals.
Don't throw them out. Well, you might throw some of the really old ones out, but stick a couple in a bag somewhere and put them in your shit at the fan kit. They make perfect slings for a broken arm or a dislocated shoulder.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know how we got off on that, but Pandemic.
Yeah,
So
pandemic.
that's this next thing that I'm seeing. So we had Ebola, now we got MERS. Now I want to look at some stuff that's been coming out over the last few days that I am telling you, they're setting us up. Put on a seatbelt, they're setting us up. If you haven't ordered any silver, get yourself some silver. Maybe get some oregano oil. That's a highly antiseptic herb. I think I need to order some.
Ooh, I definitely do.
But yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. What else? We got turmeric. Turmeric I don't know if that has antiseptic properties. I'm trying to think. I'll think about it.
It's got anti-inflammatory properties.
Anti-inflammatory, yeah, I don't think there's antiseptic. I'll have to think. There's a couple more that have antiseptic that are really good. But, yeah, keep an eye out, guys. Get some wipes, make sure that you're washing your hands when you come into your house. Because here's the thing that I'm seeing, and we've talked about this before too. Like after 9/11 happened, and again, 9/11 is that pivotal point in history that changed everything. And now they're pointing and mocking at architects and engineers. Actually, I messaged Richard Gage yesterday. I sent him that video. And he wasn't upset. He said actually they're all pretty happy that at least they're getting recognition, even if it's in a different light from mainstream media, which I have to agree.
Right.
It brings attention to it regardless. And I've seen now 4 or 5 stories about the whole situation since yesterday morning. So,
that's interesting too.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. But, 9/11 was that pivotal point that changed everything. And if we take a look at, what happened on that day and how it's transformed to now, there's a couple things I see. I see an airplane. I see now how they're talking about, look, MERS and all these diseases can easily be spread on an airplane. And back in the day when the terrorists were popping out of whack-a-mole holes everywhere to come get us in 2001, I had put myself in the mindset of a bad guy. What else could they do to get us? Because the boogeyman was hiding around every corner at that point. And one of the things that I thought about was, wow, in an airport, if they really wanted to do something horrific, why would you not go after a bathroom? Like just as people are getting on a plane and infect doorknobs. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, well, don't we see 2 videos yesterday from the chicks on mainstream talking about all the bacteria and the viruses and how they're spread on planes and all the surfaces and how they're not necessarily cleaned and how long stuff lasts. Oh, people, they are setting this up big time. This was like all the boogeyman terrorist scenarios in my head coming true. Now they're talking about it and how probable it is. So, guess what? Put on a seatbelt.
How probable it is, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Put on a seatbelt. I am seeing these dots connect. And then, of course, the third thing is this whole Ukrainian thing, which now notice how it isn't headline news anymore, but it still is. Probably a pretty big thing from an economic perspective because I see that there's some backdoor deals now going on between Russia and China. Yeah. China is also stepping into other countries that we used to have a close relationship with, or at least an imperialistic relationship with, such as Afghanistan. Karzai was just over there again shaking hands with the president. And yes, he is called the president. I was asking that the other day. With China promising economic, cooperation.
Of course.
I saw Egypt too. Wasn't Egypt in there not too long ago shaking hands with China? And
yeah.
I thought, how nice. After the Muslim Brotherhood that we puppeteered, crashed and burned, and now we're going to execute them all. Now we got the new Egyptian ruler shaking hands with China. So there's definitely some chess moves going on the chessboard in the background right now.
It's true, and they're all planning on dumping the dollar, so.
They're all exactly what it's about. And you know what? They're all doing it with a smile, too.
That's right. Exactly.
Shaking hands, going, hey, United States! Look at my new friend.
Look at that. Oh yeah, there's been, I guess, we even accused like some top Chinese generals of hacking into like
yes. Well, I don't know if they were generals, but they most certainly were Chinese military.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're going to look at, because if you remember too, Obama came out as well as Panetta, before Panetta left, talking about how hacking is akin to declaring an act of war. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And so here we are, we've been saying, man, those fucking Chinese for a long time. Well, hey, what an easier way to set it all up now, to go, China and Russia are backdooring us big time. Hey, look at all these hackers, they're Chinese military.
That's right.
So we just threw an ace of spades out and said, what are you gonna do about it now, China?
That's true.
So, yeah, I'm seeing some major stuff going on.
Well, you're always talking about poking that freaking hornet's nest with the stick, and that's what's going on.
Yeah. I don't like poking hornet's nests.
I don't either. Not particularly.
No, usually they get pissed off.
And then they come after you.
And then they come after you, and then you get stung in the ass.
That's right.
The only time I've ever been stung. And it actually, my daughter thought this was the funniest story. And then I'm going to talk real news here. Actually, maybe we'll do a clip after I tell the story and I can go fill my coffee.
There you go.
When I was a kid, I was at my next door neighbor's house and I sat on the grass and I was like, what did I just sit on?
Oh.
And I stood up, I reached around with my hands to feel what I just sat on, and I got stung in the thumb. I sat on a bee, but I guess I sat on the bee's head.
Oh.
And when I reached around to see what I sat on, I got its stinger right in my thumb.
Oh.
I guess I was lucky in one respect that it wasn't my butt that got stung. But on the other hand, the only time I ever got stung was in the thumb because I sat on a bee.
Oh my God.
Kind of funny.
Oh, I got stung by hornets, swimming on in a lake.
Don't they bite? I think they rip out chunks of skin.
Yeah, they do. And it was like I got out, to stop swimming, and I got on the dock, and then they started swarming me, and I jumped back into the water, and that didn't really help.
Oh no. Yeah, go underwater, hold your breath, and then swim as far away as you can.
I did. I tried doing that. They were still chasing me. It was
God. Then you need like a little straw and goggles. As they they're going, we see her. They're landing on the straw because they can smell your breath and feel the heat, and they're trying to crawl down inside.
Oh, God!
Look at her!
Bad. Oh, I think I got like
smell you
2 or 3 stings, and that was it. I got the hell out of that area.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh.
I had killer attack dragonflies one time around a pond. They must have had a nest there. And we were at this sculpture park, which is way out in the boondocks, southern tier of New York State. This dude had like 200, 300 acres and opened up his yard as a park. And he was retired. He played a saxophone and he was a welder. And so there were these amazing 20, 30 foot high sculptures. It's still there actually down in the southern tier. It's called Sculpture Park. He died and now it is, I believe the state took it over. I don't think it's a county park. I think it's a state park. And they have concerts and stuff there. But oh my God, I mean, we're talking like 1982. My boyfriend used to take me out there and you just go wandering through the woods and then you come upon another huge freaky sculpture. I don't know how this dude got these things up into the hills. He lived there all by himself. He had like a bathroom downstairs. He had like the house was over the top of the garage, so he left the garage open for everyone. There's a little donation box. There was a huge map of the property. There were some photographs of his sculptures. There was like a little outhouse. There was a toilet down there with like a little outhouse door on it if you had to go to the bathroom. And that was it. That was it. You were in the middle of nowhere. He had one picnic table next to the lake, and then you could go wander the woods and go have parties out there, go sit.
That's cool.
Some of his sculptures you could climb, like he had the big tower with the spiral staircase up at the top of the hill. Oh my God, this place is amazing. And if you were lucky, and sometimes we'd be the only people there. Like nobody there. But sometimes he'd be out welding. He'd have his welding gear out, and when he'd take a break, he'd get out his saxophone. And you would hear him like, and I mean, it wasn't like wicked jamming. Sometimes it was, but a lot of times it was just this mellow, like 30s. My memories keep taking me back, and you'd be up on the hill, and you just hear this saxophone floating on the breeze. Oh my God. Talk about an incredible, it just gave me chills. An incredible place. And there was one dude. And he just had hundreds of acres, and he was creative, and he opened it to everyone. And everyone took care of it. Nobody trashed it. There was no spray paint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great.
It should be.
It was great. But yeah, so we had a picnic the one time. We brought a hibachi. We were going to barbecue by the lake, before or after taking a hike. I don't remember. We used to bring a blanket and a grill. But I guess the one year there was an entire family of dragonflies that must have been nesting in the cattails or something. We were surrounded. Those things are like little mini drones.
Yeah.
And they can fly stationary. We must have had eight of these suckers all around us, and they're just sitting there going bzzz. And
but they don't fight or attack, do they?
Well, they were dive bombing us, which is what made me think we were near a nest or something.
Shit, huh?
This is the first time I had ever seen aggression out of a dragonfly.
Interesting.
And I assumed it must have been a nest that we were near. And it was near water, it was near cattails, so it's very possible.
Wow.
That's the only time ever that's ever happened to me. Attack dragonflies. Maybe they were drones.
Maybe. Maybe.
I don't know. No,
Probably
I'm sure they weren't.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
I love dragonflies, man. They're
cool. They're cool. Actually, last summer I watched them catching bugs mid-air, sucking the juice out of them, and then dropping them.
Wow, that's
They were tiny little flies, but you could see like the clouds of the flies flying, and the dragonflies are bzz, bzz, and they just fly right into the cloud. And I mean, you could literally see in its feet, it had this little tiny bug, and then it must suck the juice, and then you see the bug go pew as it heads back into the cloud again.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that was neat. By the way, too, we saw 2 bats last night here, not in the southern tier. Yeah, that is a really good thing. So that means somebody must have bat houses out. I know I have a house that Paul's dad built for owls, but I was hoping the bats would use it, and I have it in the back right by the woods. But yeah, we saw 2 last night here.
Cool. There's a bunch. I see them every evening because, I'm over the river and there's mosquitoes and that's their food, and oh boy, they go crazy out. I just watch them every evening at sunset. They just come out and...
Yeah, well, we used to have lots, but that disease, that fungus has been killing them all.
Oh man.
So honestly, like last summer down in the southern tier, I think I saw 1. And I mean, we used to see 8 to 10 a night, and they would come every night at dusk. And we haven't seen much of anything. So the fact that I saw a couple here is a big deal.
Wow. God, I grew up on 8 acres on a farm, and we had a trampoline, and when the bats came out in the evening, we used to throw our shoes up in the air, and they would dive bomb the shoes. And being on the trampoline, you can get it really high up there,
Oh, yeah.
You just throw it at the top of your jump, and it goes even higher than when you normally throw. So it was pretty intense.
Wow.
Bats are amazing.
Hey, to add to this pandemic, this was something that came up in chat a couple days ago, and I had actually found it so significant even before that I had cut it into one of Brandon's episodes a couple weeks ago, just a little snippet of the woman mentioning this. But back a few weeks ago, the UN had walked into Pakistan and vaccinated 650,000 children in a week. And now I'm seeing a clip that says the CIA is responsible for Pakistan's polio outbreak.
I read that on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I read that article on air on Tuesday.
650,000 children, and now we are responsible for a polio outbreak. So again, people, I think that they are really trying to push this pandemic thing.
Yeah.
Polio back in the day, I don't know if I was on air, but I know we were talking about this in chat. Back in the old days, when my dad was a kid, they used to give the live virus as an injection, and my dad's cousin, Bobby, ended up getting polio, and he was crippled for his whole life. He had the leg brace, and
Sure.
He actually used to go with us down to Allegheny where we had I remember barbecuing steaks and the little baby freaking raccoons are all hanging in the trees above the barbecue.
Wow.
Yeah. Him and his family, we all used to go camping together. So, yeah, he had polio back from that day, but when I was a kid and they started giving the vaccine, it was attenuated, right? It was the killed virus. They didn't keep it live anymore. But this apparently was the live virus that they were giving again.
Oh my God, man.
And of course,
CIA.
Right. Or the World Health Organization.
Yeah, and the World Health Organization. And the Council on Foreign Relations, it was all in that freaking article I read. All these bastards had their hand in this.
Yep. And who is supposed to be keeping you safe?
Right.
All right, as I'm talking, I'm running across more videos that I'm like, oh, I gotta share that on that page. All right, I gotta stop! I saw Arnie Gunderson.
The real question is, who's keeping us safe from them?
Nobody.
Right.
We have to keep ourselves safe.
Thank you.
Which is why to take classes such as that emergency preparedness course, or to listen to this show.
That's right.
Right? This show gives you pointers and tips.
It does.
The world according to Jules and Lady Pitbull. And Zori.
That's right. That's why everybody's here listening.
Of course. And hey, we even tell you about bats.
Heck yeah.
Alright. Oh look, Al-Qaeda targeting U.S. using a 3-pronged strategy now. Wow!
Where'd they come up with this?
I don't know, but here, you know what? That sounds like a good a story as any to kick it off into whatever so I can go get some more coffee. So here we go. Oh wait, I gotta bring myself in. Oh, I always forget that. Damn. But I gotta remember my name. That's always the hard part.
Yup.
Oh no. Alright, there we are.
Okay.
Now I gotta remember to answer.
Right.
Coordination in the morning is such a difficult task. Alright. Here we go. The Al-Qaeda targeting the U.S. using a 3-pronged strategy. Maybe.
Published in the Al-Qaeda magazine.
Yes. Close. Oh, why?
That's how you do it, people.
Oh, it's spinning. I had to reboot all these machines last night because they were so damn broken. And apparently the reboot didn't help too much. Now, I discovered that this one works better if I come to this one. Oh, here we go. And I start streaming something on this other one. It's like it forces the data to go, oh look, there's another...
A senior U.S. official tells me that over the last 6 months or so, what they have been monitoring is a series of threats from Al-Qaeda in various locations, threats aimed at U.S. targets overseas and indeed U.S. targets here at home. One of the big concerns is a man named Abdullah al-Shami. He is part of Al-Qaeda Core, the old Al-Qaeda, based in Pakistan. This was a...
Wait! And look how convenient it's in Pakistan!
Yeah!
Wow! And remember, it's the original Al-Qaeda, not the other Al-Qaeda that they don't want to be affiliated with.
Right.
Oh my God, this makes me want to puke at just how dumb do they think we are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? Alright, here, I'm gonna play. I gotta run real quick. I'm gonna get coffee. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
supposed to be the Al-Qaeda on the run. Al-Shami, believe it or not, Wolf, they believe he was actually born in America, American-born, went to the Middle East as a very small child with his family, and now is essentially the head of Al-Qaeda's external planning operations in Pakistan. He is a guy they believe is planning, trying to put operatives in place, just part of this overall effort. They do not think yet he has been successful. They see no operational cells in the United States, but this is not Al-Qaeda on the run. This is someone they're watching very closely. The New York Times actually quietly mentioned him several months ago. U.S. officials are loath to talk about him, but Al-Shami, that is his code name, is the one to watch.
Second stream apparently coming from Syria. What are you learning about that?
Wolf, another man, a guy named Al-Jani, also coming, it is believed, from Pakistan into Syria. Last week, he was very quietly sanctioned by the Treasury Department. They believe he is a key Al-Qaeda senior operative now in Syria, also at the core of a Syrian-based effort, planning external attacks against U.S. and Western targets. Syria now a hotbed, basically open territory for Al-Qaeda to operate. There are training camps. They are bringing fighters in. And as we are going to discuss in a short while, they are sending fighters out of Syria, trying to get them into Europe, trying to get them into the United States to attack wherever they can.
The third stream coming from Yemen. What are you learning about that?
Yemen, Wolf, always a top concern. It is, of course, the headquarters for Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. Remember, we reported several days ago the U.S. Embassy in Sana'a had closed to any outside services. It is still closed. It is going to remain closed for weeks. This is one of the biggest indications of the growing threat from Al-Qaeda in Yemen. The concern that they are very capable of trying to attack the U.S. Embassy in Yemen, capable of trying to attack inside the United States. Let's circle back and tie this all up, Wolf. The concern here is in each of these locations, Al-Qaeda operatives are threatening and making efforts to try and put operatives into place to attack U.S. targets in Europe, U.S. targets at home. U.S. official tells me there's no evidence of operational cells yet, but they are watching and tracking every one of these as they emerge.
All right.
Yeah. Give me a freaking break.
I know. So what we gotta determine is what is now going on in Yemen that we've targeted them? Because Syria, of course, we know. Pakistan, of course, we know. And remember, Pakistan is, they are, if not already, and I know that they are already because they had Bhutto and then they had the coup, they are a nuclear power without being part of the non-proliferation agreement.
That's right.
So Pakistan is scary. Pakistan and India hate each other, and this past year, they, the UN or, I don't know, maybe IAEA, whoever it is that's in charge of who is allowed nuclear, fuel and who isn't, decided that Australia could start selling India, uranium again. So, yeah, that was last year. They'd been banned.
There you go. I mean,
Pakistan and India hate each other.
Yes, they do.
So, go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
No, not at all. I just, like, it's the same old freaking play card they roll out every time.
Mm-hmm.
Since before 9/11, God, they were doing this, like, back in Jimmy Carter's time, you know what I mean? It's like, ooh.
Yeah, well, listen to May. You're right.
Exactly.
And I have all those new May Brussels episodes running, which I gotta check the schedule and see if I changed what it says, but it's the second half of 1982 that's running now, and she's talking about all the same players.
Yes.
All the same regions.
Yep. Doing the same shit they're doing right now. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. You're right. How stupid do they think we are?
Well, if you don't know your history, then pretty stupid, huh?
That's right.
You'd fall for it very easily.
Absolutely.
Now you saw that the U.S. is funneling $317 million into a UK base. Did you see that?
No.
It's a UK military base that we are putting money into to retrofit and turn it into an NSA spy center for AFRICOM.
Gotta be kidding me.
AFRICOM. So, hey,
that is just... we're building all of these, like, palaces all over the world. The U.S. is going in and just... We are in every single corner of the planet.
Right, except our country's been eviscerated. And how many freaking stories have we seen now? And I don't even think I ran the last few about our entire infrastructure crumbling in this country. Roads, schools, healthcare, everything is crumbling. Yet we can spend bazillions of dollars on a monthly basis giving it to the military industrial complex. I mean, if those FBO.gov awards aren't any type of indication, but hey, we don't have money to buy food for starving mothers and children.
No, well, hell no.
Living in boxes in a New York City subway somewhere.
Yeah, they just have to make those 500 square foot rooms for homeless people, and then as more people get homeless, we'll just build more of those.
I don't even think they're building those. Go live on the street and die is pretty much what it is.
Pretty much.
We don't care about you.
Yep, that's it. This is just sick. I mean, it's totally disgusting.
I saw too, and I don't remember who shared this, but somebody shared this with me in chat. It was one of yous guys in a good Western New York tradition. Yous guys. Yous guys shared this with me. It was an RT. I think it was the international RT because it's called Igor. Or no, I don't know if his name's Igor, but it's one of those. Maybe it's Vlad. He's doing the truth seeker. And he talks about how America is absolutely dead last in education.
Oh my God.
That's what we need, more stupid people. Hey, what? Common Core? Hey, sounds like a good idea.
Dead last, huh? I knew we were like toward the bottom, but I didn't realize we were dead freaking last.
Well, maybe it's just Russian propaganda pointing out how dumb we are.
Well, they're not far off from the truth.
Yeah, well, right. I mean, watch WALL-E. I love that movie. WALL-E was such a cute little robot.
Never seen it.
But it's Disney. Right. And all the people are very, very wide and shaped like Coke bottles, like 2-liter bottles. And they've gone on a spaceship because we polluted Earth so bad that life couldn't live here anymore. So they're in space, living on a spaceship, and they're so overweight and underutilized that they have to go in these hover chairs because everyone's lost their ability to move around. Yes! And they all sit with a computer screen in their face all the time, and that's how they talk to each other.
Oh my God. That's where it's going, people.
Hey, let's see. I don't know. I think this was kind of a longer clip, but let's see if we can skip around and find out the end result. Yeah, this is from December. Let's hear. Oh, no commercials.
Ugh. Damn commercials.
Yeah, and this is a long one. But hey, there's a new X-Files movie coming out. Maybe they'll talk about how they were genetically modified.
Yeah.
Here we go.
America's children being ranked last place in class. Coming up.
Shocking findings in latest school research. The effects of zero tolerance. And the sordid profession hundreds of thousands of college students are being forced to
pay for college. They're hooking.
The OECD's latest skill figures put young Americans dead last. In an article titled Measuring America's Decline, the New Yorker notes a shocking slide in U.S. education is no longer in question. In reading, the New York Times writes Hong Kong and Russia are atop, while Finland's first at numeracy, the most highly valued skill in the workforce. America's not just lagging, but, quote, dead last, and by a long way. In literacy, it's beaten to last place by Italy. In problem solving, it's topped by every single advanced industrialized country. The New York Times writes, while Obama's, quote, nation building in Afghanistan, funding new schools and teachers, all across America, school budgets are being cut and teachers fired. War spending has more...
I'm going to stop for 1 second. They showed problem solving. The U.S. was last as well, which is not by design.
Right. Notice how he said he's over there nation building? Just what we're talking about.
Yep. Hold on.
Doubled since 9/11, going to places like Afghanistan, Iraq, and now arming Al-Qaeda in Syria. Pentagon claims it takes just 5% of your tax. But economics professor Jürgen Brau discovered vast expenditures from military debt repayment to veterans affairs, nuclear weapons, and many, many other direct war costs that taxpayers are unknowingly paying for.
Hey, what a great dovetail into everything.
Hell yeah!
Perfect.
That was absolutely
Holy
like it was
shit.
meant to be. That was cool.
Yeah, so alright, a little bit more.
Brau found an astonishing 68 cents of your every tax dollar now goes on foreign wars. The education of a new generation of Americans gets 5. Professor Peter Kuznick's co-author of The Untold History of the United States with Hollywood director Oliver Stone. Professor Kuznick joins us. It's great to see you. What happens in states that choose war over school spending?
The thing that threatens the United States more than terrorism, more than anything really, is the failure of our educational system. It's the worst of both worlds. They have the debt and they don't have the education. What's going to happen to the U.S. is what's happening already. The United States is declining. You know, our Untold History Project is dedicated to burying this myth of exceptionalism. We think it's noxious. Obnoxious and noxious, both. You know, it's dangerous for Americans to think that they're God's gift to humanity.
Yeah, what worries you about the direction America's schools are going in?
One of the things the United States was exceptional in a negative way was to have these armed guards and metal detectors, and in some states they want to arm the teachers.
Yeah.
U.S. education itself's now, quote, militarized and criminalized. Razor wires, surveillance cameras, gun-toting security guards, and militarized officers with police dogs roam the grounds. ABC reports they're breaking girls' arms unprovoked.
He went from 0 to 60 without any provocation. Had this been a regular person doing this, that person would have been criminally charged.
Another school security guard broke a girl's wrist, reports Fox News, for spilling some crumbs of a birthday cake, then arrested her. When her mother went to school to find what happened, she was arrested too. And just for taking this photo of the security guard, a classmate was arrested for good measure. Almost all US schools now have policies dubbed zero tolerance, reports USA Today, for behavior previously called childish or just normal. It's leading to the most bizarre criminal records. Girls arrested for using perfume. A 12-year-old girl who doodled "I love my friends Abby and Faith" on her desk was actually arrested by police and marched out the school in handcuffs. In a class when a little girl kissed a little boy on the cheek, authorities called in police and child welfare. Authorities admitted it was not sexual. School kids who have a bottle of Scope mouthwash or who flick a rubber band are expelled. A 7-year-old was arrested in the cafeteria for nibbling his Pop-Tart into the shape of a hill. Kids now even arrested for burping. And US school children now don't need to do anything wrong, notes investigative site StoryLeak, to be forced on mind-altering psychotropic drugs.
We were told that if we did not follow up with their evaluation of ADHD and take him to the pediatrician and get him on Ritalin, that Child Protective Services could charge us for educational and emotional neglect.
From the very first grade, Big Pharma teams up with authorities to screen school kids as mental patients. Prozac reps hold, quote, national depression screening days to push their products in high school assemblies, which all students must attend, and hand out Prozac gifts. Pop a pill and everything will be all right, notes the Washington Times, was the message.
88.
You know, I gotta tell you, if they really are doing stuff like that, I need to go have a long talk with the superintendent of schools. If we have pharmaceutical companies coming into our schools talking to our children
Oh my God.
without our filter, there's gonna be a problem. And I'm
Those
gonna
are the
be
real
a mom
drug
that's
pushers.
arrested. Oh, absolutely.
And they're just handing them out at freaking games? Oh my god.
I didn't hear him handing them out at games. But
Well, what? What? Like school event? What was that? There was a gathering of some
at
sort.
an assembly.
Assembly, thank you. They're handing them out at assemblies?
No, I think they're talking about them and making, here's the thing too, with teenagers and stuff, they tend to follow the crowd, and they can be hypochondriacs. Oh, you're depressed? So am I. Look, they're talking about it. It makes me special if I'm depressed, because look, now they're paying attention to me.
Right, and I'm gonna cut myself and cut my arms and cut my legs because, ooh. I know somebody like that, and I just want to smack the crap out of her.
Yep. So here, little bit more.
ADHD is a means of making paying patients out of normal individuals. And once they are given a prescription and put on medications that are virtually never discontinued, they have lifetime paying patients. That's what's behind the epidemic.
Screening questions are so generalized that every living being on the planet qualifies.
Do you feel sad, blue, unhappy, or down in the dumps? Sometimes.
I've had periods of great optimism and other periods of equally great pessimism. Yeah, that happens a little bit.
My heart beats faster than usual.
I feel escaping, shortness of breath.
Gained weight.
Trembling hands.
I have an idea that most of these are going to be sometimes.
Everyone has.
As in everybody? Alright, my score totaled 42. Bipolar disorder, moderate to severe symptoms.
Bipolar.
That the survey for Teen Screen was intentionally structured to flag as many children as possible as having a possible mental health problem.
We can't know how many American heroes never will be due to the drugs forced on them as children.
If you manifest any number of symptoms like easily distracted, blurting out an answer before you're asked, daydreaming, looking out the window, fidgeting at your desk, unable to sit still, that these are symptoms of this mental disorder called ADHD.
Yeah, or symptoms called being a kid.
Being a kid, absolutely.
Oh, God, this is really disgusting.
Yeah. This is a great clip.
Yeah, it is. Whoever dropped this, it was one of the guys in chat the other day, yesterday I think, dropped this, and I snagged it and posted it. This is awesome. All right, a little bit more.
About that.
That was me. All those things were me.
It's Michael Moore.
Seriously, if this had been the way things were run back when I was growing up, I'll tell you, they would have had me so doped up, you guys never even would have heard of me.
Anthony Gucciardi is the editor of Story Leak. It's great to see you. What's going on?
This is what happens in a society that is now beyond Orwellian. We've had parents contact me and say, hey, my children were in the classroom and they were learning about history and they asked a simple question, maybe about a historical event, and they said, you're going to have to go to the doctor because you have ADD or ADHD. Just being active, just having an active mind now is against the system. It's now considered a mental illness.
Yeah, what happens when someone takes these drugs?
When I was very young, in the classroom, I was speaking to my peers and I was asking a lot of questions. They sent me to my doctor, and I filled out a form. I think it had 5 questions on it. The number one question was, who is your hero or who is your idol? And all of these weird Orwellian questions that had nothing to do with actual science at all. It was all your, opinion. And then the doctor came in and said, yeah, he likes to listen to music and all this rock music and stuff. I think he probably has ADHD, and he prescribed me pills that I need to take every single day. And when I took them, I felt like a complete zombie. I could not even put sentences together. It was wrecking my brain entirely. And this is the same thing I hear, same story, time and time again, across the board, everyone that was put on them. This is turning people into literal zombies. I mean, you walk on the street in America these days, you can see it in their eyes. You can see the way they're cogitating things. They just don't understand what's going on.
Makers of Prozac are just one of the corporations that now control school teaching. This is a genuine curriculum and lesson plans that the Center for Commercial-Free Public Education uncovered. First graders are taught to count with Domino's pizzas. Geography is taught with cities where Tootsie Rolls has factories. First graders are taught to read through Kmart, Pizza Hut, M&M's, Jell-O, and Target logos. For biology class, students have to watch Exxon's video that the Valdez oil disaster was, quote, a great example of environmental protection.
Oh my God, so they're like pimping out the schools for commercial dollars to then get product placement in the classroom? Is that what I'm hearing? Counting Domino's pizzas? Let's count how many McDonald's French fries are in the big box.
Unfreaking believable.
Wow.
This crap was not happening when we went to school.
No. Oh God, people, if this really is happening I have not seen it to this extent. I live in a little town, but maybe we should all go be a fly on the wall for a week and see what really is happening.
Yeah.
This better not be happening.
Because
maybe I need to burn this and or put it on a flash drive and take it to the next school board meeting.
This is absolutely unequivocal communist indoctrination of our children.
Well, and corporatization.
Well, that's communism.
The corporations are brainwashing our children for profit.
Right. Well, that's one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto is corporatism. Corporations.
Is greedy bastard profit making?
Yes, absolutely.
Sucking them dry and then dropping them in the pile of another zombie worker?
Oh my God. You know, when I went to the Hash Bash in Ann Arbor, this past April, and honestly, every single person, it wasn't that they were just high on weed. Something else was going on. They were all mindless zombies. I just felt like I was in a weird, like, Walking Dead episode or some shit. It was really scary to me, and I really felt like I had to, like, stay on the outskirts of it this time and just watch everybody, and it was just this, I don't know, I can't even describe it. It was so bad. But, and it's all the young people, see, they're getting on these drugs, and, you know, their minds are gone forever, because, you know, when they're like middle school, high school, their minds are starting to really develop, and that's when they start soaking information up like a sponge. Like
not only that, they start connecting all the dots. Once you get into high school, you take all of that, what's it called when you're like, you don't see anything bad? Optimism from being a child, okay? Yeah. And it gets shattered a little bit because you start to learn about politics and history and money and college and the world isn't fair. But it's that important transition that happens that turns you into a responsible adult. And they are not allowing that to happen. They are allowing this fantasy fucking world to just continue and paint this movie-esque picture of what is going on, telling you what to believe, as they have never encouraged critical thinking throughout your education. So you don't even know any better. You don't ask questions, you listen.
Absolutely, and the drugs are
helping
stopping the
right
brain.
Yep.
Stopping it right where it's at in terms of development, and it will not go any further. So what happens? An entire generation of children, when they're 40s and their 50s, 60s, are still going to be needing help for somebody else to take care of them.
They never broke free of needing mom and dad.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, that is my biggest thing, is independence. You know what? I get so angry when my daughter at 8 goes, I need help. I'm like, no, you don't need help. Because you know what? Here's the thing. If you sit there and cry, I need help, before you even tried, then I say you're lazy.
Right.
And I say that all the time. She gets so upset, she'll start crying. I don't care. That means you're lazy. Try to figure it out yourself. Pretend that you're on an island and there's nobody to help you. Use your ingenuity to look at the paperclip and the chewing gum and figure out how to make it happen.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, that's who survives, man. And when the shit hits it, that's who's gonna make it. Are the ones whose brains can go
Right.
You know, figure out every scenario because you're gonna make it work. There's no I failed. And that's
right.
You know, they make these guys, they don't let them fail. They make them feel that everybody's equal, and even when they play a competitive game, there's no winners and losers. Everyone gets a ribbon, or everybody gets accolades.
Exactly.
Nobody failed the test.
Yes. This is just...
You gotta rip your knee open. You gotta cry. You gotta be mad about it because you don't wanna lose. That's your motivation to work hard and to try to be on top and to survive.
Right. And they're killing that instinct.
Mm-hmm.
They
sure are.
To the ground. And look at what they're doing.
Look at the response here in this country to any of the bullshit going on. Is anybody getting their ass off the couch? There's some, but the vast majority are sitting there drooling in front of a TV.
Yes. And here's what they're doing. I can see how they're going to set this shit up right now. They're saying, oh, the U.S. is dead last as far as education goes. So what's the answer? Common Core.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it
really
more stupid.
And Common Core allows them to put you all in the big national database.
That's right.
And
absolutely.
Right, is that what this whole thing, if you look at all these programs, it's all about getting us into the database. Every detail about you.
And if you're a homeschooler, you're going to be a terrorist.
Yep.
This is how it's going. I wonder.
Pay cash, you already are, just about.
I wonder, you know, those questionnaires they were talking about in the clip that they give to high schoolers? Mm-hmm. I wonder what would happen if some kid, clever kid at that, would answer no to every single one of those questions.
To see what would happen.
Yeah, I wonder what they would do to that kid.
If they would be like the opposite spectrum, they would go, there's something wrong with you. It's probably, you know, here's the thing. Probably most of the kids are going to end up as having an illness.
Oh, that's what it's designed to do.
Think about this too. One of the big things with gun control is, and even Barry said it himself, and you know, I had a bunch of stories last night that I never even got to that I wanted to talk about, and that was putting the psychiatrist right in the mix as making the decision as to whether or not you have a mental disorder. And Barry wanted to get rid of those pesky HIPAA laws that kept your medical records private. But I say, with Obamacare, that gives the feds all your medical records. And once they own that database, hey, you know, companies change privacy policies all the time.
That's right.
And look at, if it's, you know, the insurance company, you gotta sign a waiver if you want the insurance company to pay your bills. The insurance company has full access to your medical records and procedures.
That's right. And they decide whether or not you get covered. And then the psychiatrist can decide whether or not you
get guns.
A firearm.
Here's one thing that I talked about a long time ago when we first started seeing this disturbing ADHD trend. And then this whole gun control issue came about with mental health. I was like, holy shit, they got all of our kids on depression and ADHD and SSRIs.
Yes.
Well, if SSRIs make you ineligible to own a firearm, they have just disarmed America while leaving the Constitution intact.
Bam.
The next
Just
generation
like that.
cannot own guns, period. And
That's right.
Hey, I can't find freaking G.I. Joes in Toys R Us, people. So if our kids aren't playing with guns and Pop-Tart chewing gun shapes and gun t-shirts and foam Hello Kitty guns get you suspended from school, well, you better believe that behavior's gonna stop right quick.
That's right.
These dumbass parents that are like, oh, guns are bad. Guns are bad. They're just fueling the fire on this. The next generation will be disarmed. It is here and now.
Yeah, I think that they could do more damage this way than they can putting like the RFID bracelets in the weapons. I think they can do way more damage this way.
Well, the RFID weapons will be the next gen. If someone really wants a weapon and hey, they were outstanding and never were on ADHD drugs and never got into trouble and never back-talked to their teacher, we'll let you have one of those smart guns between 8 and 5 on a Saturday when you've made an appointment at the government range and give you your 100 rounds to shoot. Then you'll be able to. Hey.
And they have, well, on top of that, you have to have a drug test. Make sure you haven't been smoking pot or drinking alcohol, too.
Within 30 days.
Yeah. In the last 30 days. Absolutely, Jewel. Absolutely.
I see it. This is our kids' future, people. And you know what? I am not a vindictive person. I'm gonna tell you, I've spent my whole life with all my friends and family going, Jules, you're weird. But we like you, but you're weird. I'm the fun person to hang out with when you want to drink some beers and like get a mind F, okay?
Right.
That's all my friends. That's why when we hung out, my friends would be like, oh man, Jules, I love talking to you because you talk about the weirdest shit. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. The scary thing is all those people that have known me the last 25 or 30 years are going, fuck, Jules, you were right.
Right.
Telling you, I have been right the whole time. All of it. I've been right.
Absolutely.
And I don't like to be right. And, you know, even in my job, my boss, I work for the executive vice president. And he used to tell me, Jewel, you're like me. You're one of those visionaries where we can do the business plan, the 1 year, the 5 year, the 10 year, you know, and all the way out to see what's coming. That's what you need in executive management.
Absolutely.
But it's, I don't know what it is. It's just connecting the dots. When all the dots go, boop, you can see the straight line, and there is no question when you put all those puzzle pieces together on the board and you start seeing the image form, you're like,
it's scary.
And just because we don't have maybe the last 5 pieces in place yet doesn't mean that they're not working on them, because they are.
Right. Oh,
I mean, remember, RoboCop is coming. Transhumanism is coming. This second generation freaking mRNA GMO food that freaking reprograms your DNA, guys, is all for real. And SLC, if you're out there, I got an article for you. I saved it in my text file last night. I don't know if you were in chat when I was talking about it, but there is a study using turmeric that talks about that same stuff. And I think actually when he called in a couple weeks ago, I mentioned it. Talks about that same exact mRNA in turmeric, naturally occurring, that helps reorganize your DNA. It clears out all the free radical damage and helps like almost retune or defrag your cells.
Dang!
It fixes your DNA, yes. And this is a scientific study. I have the document from one of the big scientific institutes using turmeric. But this is the shit that the second generation DARPA and Monsanto research that is going on, this is what they're looking to do within the food.
Yes.
Have that mRNA. It goes in and they can reprogram your DNA. And all you gotta do is add some little baby nanobots and then do a little nanobot code and you can tell those cells to become anything you want.
That's right.
Turn her into a piece of livestock, please.
It's true.
It is true. Guys, I came from a science and engineering background, okay? I mean, I like freaky things. And you guys know my background. I studied like creation myths and medieval freaking society and old religions to try and figure out the answer why. But along with that came physics and trying to understand all the intricacies of the universe because I think they're all related.
They are related.
There's the right and the left side, and they're all part of the same big whole.
That's right.
Okay? I am certain of it. That's my one life's goal. Before I die, I want to know why and how. That's it. That's what I've dedicated myself to. And guys, it's for real. All of this is for real. This freaking upload your brain to the computer. Oh, hell yeah, they're working on that. And they're all whack jobs.
It's more than the cloud.
Oh, it's way more. But swarm mentality and the cloud is the next big freaking brain. That's where you're going to put yourself.
Yep.
When you die, you're going to upload in the cloud and then people could go to your MP3 and hey, you're going to have AI and they'll be able to capture your essence. So you'll be able to interact. And hey, this might be a great segue to go take a look at. Did you freaking see? I mean, I was a fan in the 80s. You know, when he got a little weird, I was like, okay, I sort of distanced myself. But I gotta say, I'm not ever gonna take away that he wasn't a great talent, Mr. Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Right? Was he?
Yep. I know where you're going with this.
It certainly was, but did you see it, this music award thing? And I don't watch any of that shit, but I do look at Pig Minds clips every day and spread the news. And there was a link. Oh, good thinking. He actually commented on this one. Yeah, so there's been 3 days now about Michael Jackson at this music award. Was it a hologram? Was it a green screen? What was it? We don't know. It was a big secret. Well, a video came out last night saying, how did they make this?
I saw that.
I bet it's military. So.
Oh, hell yeah.
When you're dead, you're not even dead anymore. And then start adding the genetic engineering and the nanotechnology and being able to reprogram DNA. Shit, man, look! We found one of Michael's old tissues in this underwear drawer!
There you go! The nanobots can reconstruct Michael Jackson!
I don't know about nanobots, but hey, in the future, yes. But wait, there's more! A story just came out of phys.org the other day. 80 years scientists have been trying to crack this nut, and they just did.
Uh-oh.
Being able to create, and I shit you not, matter from light.
Whoa!
Think about the implications.
I can't.
Matter from light. And as we're moving down the path of these quantum computers and qubits,
wow.
Think about it, people. Think about it. It is mind-boggling. So I started to think, well, what applications would be now possible if we could create matter from light? Well, how about a holodeck?
Shit!
Anyone remember Star Trek?
That's right.
Zoom. Now I'm on Mars. Zoom. Now I'm back 30 years. Zoom.
Right.
And it was real.
Right.
At least for as long as the program ran.
Right.
Zoom. That boyfriend that you love so much. Every second chance. I mean, honestly.
Damn. That's
messed up. How about Zoom? Michael Jackson is alive again. I kept thinking when I heard that it wasn't a hologram, but they're not going to tell us what. And then that story came out. 80 years we've been trying, and we finally cracked the nut. I was like, oh, they did not.
Wow.
So, all right, I don't know. I didn't watch this video, so we're going to find out. But I'm just saying, while this is playing, I had actually 2 or 3 stories about them creating matter from light. So I'll drop those in the chat. But while I look, we'll play this hologram video. Maybe. If it comes. This computer's so damn slow! I need, Jeopardy music. Or wait, no, we gotta prompt it to work, so let me open a video on the other computer to make it go, oh, wait, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Alright, here it comes, wait, I'm playing on one, so now it's gonna make it play on the other, come on!
Crazy.
It is crazy, and this machine was never broken. I still have not.
Everybody.
Huh?
They're messing with everybody's computers. They're messing with mine. They're messing with Zori's. They're messing with Jimmy's. They're messing with everyone's computer.
Yeah, they are. And now I'm just spinning. You son of a heechba.
What?
Oh, I just want to watch Michael Jackson's hologram.
Damn. Man,
Damn it.
I'm still on the matter from light thing, man.
Well, you know what? If this isn't going to load, then screw you, Michael Jackson, because we're just going to move beyond you.
Beyond.
The secrets of the universe.
Oh,
Hold
shit.
on. It's on my page. I'll find it. By the way, I saw another study. They have been watching kangaroos for a long time, and they discovered that if a predator chases a kangaroo to its watering hole, the kangaroo's response to that is to grab its adversary by the head and try to drown it.
Oh my god.
I was like, good on you. That'll work.
Yeah, it will work. Whatever works.
Kangaroos are mean, man. They'll grab you if you're not near water. They'll grab you with whatever they can get their 2 hands on and start pummeling the shit out of you with their back feet.
Oh, hell yeah, they will. Oh, man.
Here you go. Scientists discover how to turn light into matter after an 80-year quest. This is the article out of phys.org. Sorry, Anon. Yes, I'm a little bit wound up. But it's a good thing.
That's cool, though, damn it.
I haven't done a show in a few days, and I had probably 12 feeds of information, and last night while I was looking at it all, a whole bunch of puzzle pieces went click, 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 click.
As they always do when you dig into it and start looking.
Yeah, or too many days go by, then it's like really easy to see.
Yeah.
If you're in the day, maybe you don't catch them all, but if you're at like a 5-day view, and then you look down, you go, holy shit, no.
Oh, man.
I don't know, so we might have to skip Michael Jackson because now I get the error occurred. Please try again.
Oh, you bastards.
Static bullshit. Come on. One more try. The third time is a charm. This is making me angry because there was nothing wrong. Like, what, how long ago did we play a video? 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was right there.
And now it doesn't play. All right. Well, good old Mikey. I'll tell you what I am going to do because I'm certain. Oh, look. And now I won't even let me get to the link. Well, I still have it here. I will drop the link to everybody in chat and you guys can. There you go.
Yay.
And then it just comes up blank for me. Isn't that nice? So how about I add an S? And it's blank for me even with an S.
It worked. It worked on my end.
Maybe it's just my machine.
There twice.
Yeah, nothing's loading on this
All right, I'm
end.
going to click it right now. It's perfect, Jules. All
right, good.
Yep.
So, okay, well, I don't want to lose my train of thought. So there were a couple things. We're getting, we watched the Truth Seeker video, which we never even got beyond a, hey, should we see if we could play any more of this about the drugging our kids?
Oh, yeah. If you haven't finished.
If it plays, no, there's another minute or two, but I'm not even sure if it's going to play. So let's see if it works.
Kids spend a whole week of academic time learning the life cycle of a Nike sneaker. In return for giving Coke exclusive pouring rights, the Colorado Springs School District pledges to make their students drink, quote, at least 70,000 cases of Coke a year. The official nutrition curriculums created by McDonald's and fried potato chip manufacturers. Half of all schools in the US are forced to watch something called Channel 1 TV in class every day. A Johns Hopkins University study found an incredible 80% of the content was non-educational fillers and ads.
Save $5, text CLEAN to 467-467. Clean and clear and under control.
Josh Golin's Associate Director of the Campaign for a Commercial-Free Childhood, CCFC. It's great to see you. Why shouldn't corporations write the school curriculum?
Kids go to school with the expectation that in their best interest, if they're just seeing messages from McDonald's or Coca-Cola because they paid the most, that's the antithesis of education.
A few decades ago, top universities like Berkeley were completely free. Government cuts are pushing fees to impossible levels. A Stanford science degree costs $42,000. At a top German university, the same degree is $150.
What?
Forbes points out public funding keeps it around the same cost as in Kenya.
What? The
Dude,
same
really?
education at a German university as a Stanford technical education is $150?
What? That is, I don't believe
You know,
that.
I'm going to tell you what. I want my superintendent of schools to comment on this video. I'm going to insist on it. I'm going to take this to the school board meeting. Because if this is true, if this is really true, if we really have corporations like this in our schools, this has got to end immediately.
Instantly. Oh my God. How in the hell do we take down these freaking corporations?
I don't know, but this is making me very angry. All right.
Oh.
We got to listen a little bit more now because.
Yeah, please.
All right.
Firms like Mercedes, Siemens and Porsche get to pick from thousands of top qualified engineers each year. Now in the US, an astonishing 400,000 high school graduates each year who want to go to college can't afford it. If they want a higher education, most teens must borrow astonishing amounts.
I'll definitely be over $100,000 in debt by the time I graduate, so I'll be paying that out for the rest of my life.
Robert Applebaum also expects to be paying back tuition fees for the rest of his life. His petition for the Student Loan Forgiveness Act garnered over 1 million signatures. Robert joins us. Thanks very much for coming on. So Congress just cut another $1 billion in school funding. How will this situation end?
An idiocracy. We will have a nation of dunces, of people who are completely uneducated because they can't afford to go to school. The figures are astronomical. People getting into $200,000, $400,000 worth of debt. We will only have the elite rich who are able to afford to go to college.
To pay their way, hundreds of thousands who do get to college are turning to prostitution. Students are now the major users of the many sites which hook up young girls with rich older men for sex. In return, sugar daddies, as they're known on the sites, fund part or all their college fees.
What do you think we ought to do now?
What do you think is a good idea?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts.
Yeah?
I'm a man after all.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I know that it's not right. It says in the Bible it's not right to sell yourself for money. And times like what I'm going through right now, I feel like there's an exception.
The New York Times writes, American companies now rely on qualified foreigners from countries with more effective education systems. The US is actually now, quote, staking the nation's future on a steady stream of skill from abroad. American exceptionalism is regularly invoked by Barack Obama and other members of the establishment. The New York Times writes their speeches often claim the US workforce is, quote, the best in the world. May do wonders for self-esteem. Times warns that for a long time that's just not been the truth. And the way America treats its younger generations, that it's rock bottom, seems hardly surprising. See truth from facts. This is The Truth Seeker.
Wow. That was
amazing.
Really, really sobering.
That was awesome.
Seriously, if this, I mean, remember it's RT. It's funded by the Russian government. Of course they're going to point out all the bad things about us. And if everything is truthful in this, though, I mean, how could you put out a piece like this, release it in the U.S., and then have people not up in arms if it weren't true? You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be true somewhere. They were interviewing all these people.
The life cycle of a freaking Nike shoe? What the hell is going on?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm horrified.
Me
I have
too.
Friends who are teachers. I am going to ask that somebody give me comments on this because
yes, please.
I'm
pissed.
pissed.
To your school board, man. That's fantastic.
I want to.
I mean, what the hell is going on here for real? And then the Common Core is just going to send it into this crazy, like hyper tailspin.
Well, the Common Core, from what I've seen, is dumbing us down. It is not encouraging critical thinking. It's allowing you to be, almost right.
Right, yeah. Just,
estimate. They teach kids to estimate. And I have to say, I remember never being taught to really estimate. That was something I had to come to as an acquired skill as an adult.
That's right.
Learn to ballpark things. That's what made you a good engineer. Because I could take a quick snapshot in my mind and go bing, 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 bing. Oh, you need 6 cards because you have, 200 users and they're about, $13,000 a piece. And bing, 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 bing. Oh, it'll be around 60 G's or so, list price.
You understand the method in order to get there properly.
Right.
Mathematically in your head. So, now it's like they're not even being taught how to write in script or cursive. You know what I mean?
No, well, hey, Constitution's in cursive, remember?
Absolutely. So the critical thinking is being completely stymied at an unprecedented level here. And this is just freaking, this is like dystopian nightmare come true.
It sure is. And they teach them that being wrong is okay.
Yeah.
I'm one of those exactist type people. I've gotten better since I've gotten older. So I've loosened up a little bit. When you have a kid that's like disaster mess zone and you're one of those clean freaks, you either need to loosen up a little bit, or you will end up on medication.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna tell you.
Right.
It's taken me a long time to get broken. I call it broken. They say I'm fixed a little. I say I'm broken, but whatever. It's all the same messy area now.
Right.
But,
Absolutely.
I'm an exactist. I like to be right, and I like to be precise about things. No, it's not $29, it's $29.36.
Right.
Because add 3 of those 36 cents together, give or take a few pennies, and you got another $1.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly. It's
But,
true.
You know,
Holy
to
crap.
say, well, it's around 35 when it was $36.36. I don't know. It gets me very angry because you're right. They weren't taught to do it correct in the first place.
Exactly.
That is not grooming an engineer.
Right.
To guesstimate. Yeah, well, we're gonna build this 50-story skyscraper and, you know, it could be 49, depending on whether or not we get the floor distance correct.
Right. All the engineer students, they're coming from China.
Yeah, it's the H-1B visas.
Yes. So
those H-1B visas that American corporations insist we need to have, and guess why? Because there are not enough qualified candidates in the United States. And
right.
Not only that, but the United States has a quota that they allow of H-1B, and I believe they increased it again. Because
I'm sure.
American corporations are pounding, going, hey, we don't have enough qualified candidates.
That's right. Oh boy. We can see where this is going in 10 years and 20 years and 30 years.
Yeah. We become the slave nation, people.
Yes.
And as they're talking about building a high-speed rail, did you see that? I don't know if anyone was on with me that day, but I did talk about it. They are talking about, and, you know, they downplayed it. They're like, oh, well, you know, the channel between, underneath the, English Channel was visualized as far back as Napoleon. So, how long it took to build. So this isn't going to happen in the near future, probably.
I'm already there.
They're talking about building a high-speed train from China through Russia to Alaska to the mainland, people. To the
It
US
probably already exists.
mainland. Well, the Bering Strait isn't that bad. They're like, well, it's like 39 feet deep and blah, blah, blah. Hey, to me, it doesn't look like rocket science. Not at all. You know, they've done bigger things. I don't think it's any big issue. So for them to be joking, going, well, for the channel, it took all the way from the time of Napoleon to now, or, you know, to whenever, the 1990s that they built it. So, you know, don't go expecting this soon. I see a burgeoning Chinese middle class waving dollars everywhere. If you read stories about China, and that's one of my big searches, I pay a lot of attention to China. There's an entire middle class that came out of nowhere where they're having time to take vacations now. They have motorhomes. They have these upper scale homes. They have dogs. They don't eat them now. Now they're pets. Oh, it's true. It's true.
I don't eat them now.
There was a story the other day about these little dogs out of China that were so cute. They look like little panda bears. And previously before this big economic boom, they used to be food.
Yep.
And now they're pets because they have this economic new standing. Well, guess where this mysterious middle class in China came from?
That's right.
Where? Tell me.
Here. From here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They had that turkey baster going.
Yes, they
and
did.
They took it over and they went into China.
With a big giant turkey
baster. A middle class.
Right.
With Walmart.
God, with Walmart. Oh my God.
I'm telling ya. And hey, the manufacturing, that was NAFTA. Shit it out in Mexico.
Mexico.
Now, just wait. TPP is gonna suck the rest of us up.
That's right.
Shit us in the ocean all around the Pacific. And then the sharks are gonna eat us all as the high-speed train comes floating from China to Russia onto the mainland, and they come running in with their dollars to buy up whatever's left. And they'll all be safe because we got RoboCop.
That's right. Oh my.
We got the surveillance state. We got 24/7 cameras, Mr. Chin.
After the giant Ebola pandemic takes the population down to a manageable level.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's ugly.
It is
I'm
ugly.
sorry, alright. I didn't mean to give everybody nightmares.
Well, hello. Wake the hell up.
People are rocking in their chairs now.
I'm rocking. I'm just sitting here listening to you totally rocking.
Oh, God, guys. Yeah, this is what happens when you get alcohol into me, usually. Not when you get caffeine, so I'm not sure what happened this morning. Sorry.
It's good Joseph.
At least we can laugh about it.
Oh my God, at least. I mean, we should be screaming like with our hair on fire down the road, you know?
What?
We should be screaming about all this stuff with our hair on fire running down the road. Going, wait, if you don't pay attention.
The thing is that it sounds so bizarre, like to anyone tuning in who maybe has never met me and they've only had small doses, they might go, wow, this chick is fucking nuts.
Well, we just play clips to prove
Well, that's true. That's true. But anyone who's listened to my rants, even just on the radio for the last couple years, starting with the show WTF, because, hey, in the beginning it did seem like WTF now, didn't it?
That's right. It still does even
right now. Same shit. I mean, I'm not talking about anything different. It's now just become a serious show.
That's
true. I haven't changed. I'm still me.
Oh my God.
Just changed the name of the show. Now it's no longer What the F. Now it's, before the first cup doing the show. I mean, like, it's so prevalent right now. I could do the show every morning, rolled out of bed, not even 2 minutes awake before coffee, okay? That's how in your face it is.
Totally. It's just absolutely there.
It is. Hey, wait, I just found the other matter will be created from light within a year.
Oh, right.
Scientists say, and this was out of Raw Story, the other one was out of phys.org. There you go. Hey, should we try the Michael Jackson one more time? Just for good measure. Come on, let's try.
53 mark.
Yeah, so let's try it. We'll see.
The comeback performance was a thriller. Michael Jackson, almost 5 years after his death, taking the stage at the 2014 Billboard Music Awards. There was his iconic moonwalk and that trademark voice. The only thing missing was the real king of pop. In his place, a hologram.
When you saw the billboard, you saw a digital head connected to an actor. We capture the body and the head in real time, and we have the sync marks, and we can attach the two together.
This MJ likeness used at the Billboard Awards was created by Hologram USA, and it may have made some viewers a little uneasy. But founder Alki David says the technology gives fans a chance to remember the pop icon at his best.
What you saw at the billboard was Super Michael. You saw Michael beyond the controversy, beyond the problems that he faced in his real life.
This is what...
Oh, lining up transhumanism, Super Michael!
Oh my God.
You know, it was making me think of The Simpsons. No, what was the show that was by, I think it was the same guys who did The Simpsons, where they were in the spaceship. And they had the chick, Leela, with one eye in the middle of her forehead.
I can't remember what the hell that was called.
Oh, come on for a Cupid doll, somebody!
I
what was
can't
the name
remember.
Of that show, but in that show, they had the room full of heads, remember? Of all the presidents.
Yeah! That was weird what he just said, they captured the head and they captured the torso. That was
yeah!
creepy.
Right, here, we're gonna hear the rest of this.
where the magic happens. In a green screen room like this one, where they have 26 different cameras and lots of light, so they can create a hologram and then project it anywhere in the world in real time. So this is what I look like as a hologram. In real time, they could change my voice, change my clothes, they could even multiply me. They say the possibilities are endless.
What other applications do you see for this technology?
Education, military, politics. It can be applied across the board.
But this wasn't the first time a hologram performed on stage. Celine Dion crooned alongside Elvis on American Idol in 2007. And Tupac wowed audiences in 2012 at the Coachella Music Festival, rapping alongside the real-life Snoop. David says we can expect even better holograms in the future.
Lighting technology has improved so much, LED technology has improved so much that you can, in fact, today project a hologram in daytime without the need for darkened spaces.
So Michael Jackson could be performing on stage for years to come.
There is no end to how you can apply this. All we really need to do is to apply our imagination.
Stephanie Elam, CNN, Los Angeles.
Guys, I'm sitting here with my mouth open at everything I'm just hearing, and then add to that story that I dropped you guys that scientists have now discovered how to turn light into matter, and there is some frightening implications.
Wow.
They could beam in robobots or soldiers or whatever.
Or they stage an alien invasion.
And it could be real because they could turn light to matter.
Shit! With a freaking...
With big snake tentacles. Oh my god! This is insane.
Has anybody ever said to themselves who've worked on these technologies, what have I done?
I have. That's why I'm no longer working.
Bingo.
That's why I'm here. But this is just, I mean, in the last few years, people, seriously, it went from WTF to a serious show 5 days a week. It's real. And this
we still can't even cover it all.
No, I didn't get to half of, I mean, there's all these dots that need to go together. I outlined it first thing. We got this pandemic coming, which I guess maybe I'll have to be here tomorrow. We'll play some clips. And we got the, what was the other thing I said? The pandemic, we got Russia. I didn't even look at all the stuff that Putin's doing. And, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what the third one was. Oh, the whole China-Russia thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Ukraine.
And something else, though. I thought there was something else, but that's okay.
God.
And Fukushima burning. Did you see? I haven't mentioned it yesterday, and the video's out there. You see, it's fire.
Fuck, reactor 4 is on fire.
Not that it hasn't burned before, because it has, but that's not good. That means open air fusion or fission or whatever it is. It's bad. Open air fires are bad. And along with that news came, hey, we just had the highest radiation readings ever yet in the ocean. All right, guess what? Time's up, guys. Thank you so much for being here, Wendy. It was a wonderful, glorious Wednesday. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Stick around. All kinds of stuff tonight. Will Roberts, John Stokes, Jack Blood, Josh, Dana Martin, Jimmy Funky, and Nick and DB. Have a wonderful Wednesday, people.
Thank you, Jules.
Thank you. Hey, go do something good. Fight against the machine!
Yeah!
School board about that video that pissed me off!
Yeah! Hey, JJ!
Everybody say